Hey everybody, it's Tracy and I'm here today with a little tutorial. I had some questions about how I put the pages together in the Bloom mini album that I just gave away. So I'm going to try my best to explain how I did that. I can't guarantee you that this is how Wheezy put hers together. I tend to do things the hard way. There's probably an easier way to do this, to figure all this out, but this is how I did it. And I hope it's helpful to you. It's really not hard. It's just some folding and whatnot that can be a little bit confusing, so I'm going to try to help you out with that today. This is a 6 by 12 inch piece of white cardstock, and I just measured it to 6 inches because these envelopes that go in it are 6 by 9, so you need 6 inches wide. I put it on my score pal, and basically I started at the 6 inch mark and I marked it out a half an inch in both directions until I had about 3 inches at the end. Now here's where it's really going to depend on what you want to do. Doing it like this with 3 inches on each end, you're only going to come out with 3 pages. So it really depends on how many pages you want to put in your album. If you're going to put more, you're going to end up having to splice together because there's no way to get another page on here with a space and have very much to be able to attach to your covers. I feel a little more comfortable with a little bit more on the end to be able to attach to your covers for stability. So you'll probably end up having to splice it together. I did not splice on the mini album that I made, but the only reason I didn't was because I cut the spacing down in between the pages to a 1/4 inch instead of a 1/2 inch, and it really needed the 1/2 inch because a lot of those stacked flowers and things that I made were a lot more bulky than I expected them to be. So the pages were really a lot thicker than I expected them to be, and they kind of made the album stick out. But anyway, like I said, I scored it at the 1/2 inch mark with 3 inches on each end. In the center, you're going to fold your center point, and once you have that center point, which is a valley fold, your next fold is going to be a mountain fold, then a valley fold, and you're going to do that on either side of the center point. So you'll do a mountain fold and a valley fold on that side. That is going to be your first page. That envelope is going to sit in those 2 peaks, and you're going to put, if you choose to, like I did, the Terrifically tacky tape on either side of this fold and put your envelope in there, and it's not going anywhere. It's very sturdy. Alright, so once you have that first fold, this next one is the 1/2 inch space that's going to be the room for your embellishments. So that one needs to lay flat. So instead of making another mountain fold like you would if you were just accordion folding this, that is going to be a valley fold. Then the next one will be a mountain fold, then a valley, then a mountain, then a valley, and there's your next page for your envelope to slide in. And that's basically what you're going to do on either side. You'll have another one over here. And like I said, the way I had it scored, that gave you 3 pages with 3 inches on the end. But you could, like I said, splice this, and then you have 4, 5, 6, however many pages you want to put on there. So that's basically the binding part of it. I hope I explained that well enough. Alright, the pages themselves are made out of these 6 by 9 envelopes. And what I did was, I didn't like the little metal part being on there, so I just took my craft knife and I just cut it out. Because all I could think of was, that's going to rust. I know they rust. So I cut that out. Then you would fold this over, and you would put glue or whatever on there and seal that up. And I put this end in here. So that end will be your towards your binding. At the opposite end of the envelope, I took my ruler and my X-Acto knife, and I just cut a very small sliver. I'm talking small sliver off the end. I didn't want to lose too much of the space there. Then I put it on my score pal, and I scored it at 3 inches from that end. I didn't do this when I made the mini album, and I wish I had, because it was really hard to go back and do it once it was put together. But inside the envelope, I hope you can see that, there's score tape in there. I just put some pieces of this little thin, I think it's like 1/8 of an inch score tape in there, just on the other side of the score line in there, so that when this gets folded up for the pocket, I'll take that the peely part off and close that up, and when you put your I don't have anything to stick in there, but when you put your tags in there, when this is open, they won't slide into the main part of your envelope. They'll stop right there. It's a lot easier to do it at this point of the process than it is, like I said, once it's in the binding and you're working on it, because you can't hardly get your hands in here as it is to put the score tape in there. It's a little tricky, it takes a little time, but you just put it in there and peel it off and seal that up, and then press that down and it'll be nice and sealed up so your tags won't slide down in there. Now I know on some of Wheezy's pages, she just cut this off. She didn't even put this part on it. She actually took this part, I think she left the end on and didn't trim it off, but took this part and put it like on her page like that and made a pocket this way with it. So it just depends on whether you want, a fold over pocket, or whether you want this off and just a place for a really big tag to put in there. But that's how you do the envelopes. So once it was this, I don't have this one trimmed, but once that end's trimmed off and this thing's cut off and it's folded up like that, then you're going to put each one of them in between, put the tacky tape in there so they're sitting in there, and that's basically how your pages are going to fit in there. And once these are put together and your pages are all in there, then your binding, she took, I don't have any, but it's probably a really good idea. She used the drywall tape that has like that string stuff in it, and just put it across for some strength to keep all this sturdy, and it's a really good idea. Your binding really makes a difference on your books, on how they hold their shape and whatnot. But that is how I put the pages together on this album. I hope that I did this tutorial in a way that you can understand. But if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to drop me a comment and ask. And I should have another video coming up, if I can get to it today. There was some request for me to do a tutorial on the shoe like I made Rena, and I made another shoe, this one. And I'm going to do a tutorial to show you how I put that together. So hopefully I'll be back today with that. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.